Good afternoon, everybody. This is Advocate Uday Shenoy, the moderator for today. I welcome you all on behalf of Legal Cell and Law and Society Alliance. A brief about Law and Society Alliance. It is a national growth organization that focuses on intellectual work and intervention, both policy and legal, on issues such as law and legislations, national security, strategic affair, education and skill development, culture and history, business and economy, financial inclusion, vocational training, basically all aspects of human life, and to make life itself better for people from all fields and sectors. Several advocates, doctors, engineers, businessmen, corporate leaders, government and armed forces officials, and officers are part of Law and Society Alliance, and it organizes events, seminars, webinars, field activity, research on these subjects that focuses on. Legal Cell is a group for professionals, enthusiasts, and students of law, politics, economy, business, and international relations. Legal Cell focuses on training, webinars, lectures, etc., to add value to existing skills and talents of youngsters and old alike. Today, we have Advocate Rajesh Menzies, who is speaking on Introduction to Human Resource Development. Advocate Rajesh Menzies is practicing lawyer in labor court. He has more than 2 decades of comprehensive experience in MNC and Indian companies, including hospitality services. He has played a very critical role in formation of HR departments for various companies. His portfolio includes heading HR, IR, and communication for companies with generalistic responsibilities. In his current role, he provides strategic business advisory to leadership team through HR and related process and supports in conceptualizing and executing changes in management. Also, advises many companies like Airbag Systems Private Limited, Basin Petro, Supply, AVS Partners, High Tech Engineers, etc. So I hand over the mic to Advocate Rajesh Menzies. Rajesh ji, please take over.
Uday, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rajesh.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to thank Legal Sales and Advocate Kumar Vaidyanathan, Advocate Bipindra NC for giving me this opportunity. I would like you all to take to HRM. What is HRM? What is the role of HRM? And what was the earlier before HRM? So we'll start with my session, Introduction to Human Resources Development. Before we talk about human resources. I would like to pay your attention. Before the human resources department, there was business revolutions. There are three type of revolutions. That is industrial revolution, the information revolution, and social revolution. The industrial revolution in this era, people look at job for a basic necessity like roti, kapda, and makan, and they work even their bosses were abusive or beat them because of the opportunities were less, and they had no option but to stick to the job. The workforce work for survival purpose. We need to understand this first because the workforce has no option, they have to work, and they absolutely there was shortage of jobs in the market. And after that the information revolution come. That is the era when the brand and IT companies started building the workforce to work for standard of living because their parents worked during the industrial revolution and taken care of their work, basic care of their food, basic care of food, roti, kapda, makan, what we say, these workforce work for standard of living because their parents worked during the industrial revolution and taken care of this workforce. This workforce was working for a good salary to pay the house rent, installment, car loan, children's education, etc. In this phase, loyalty reduced, but the truth is loyalty never existed in first phase, but they didn't have any option. Whereas during this information revolution, These workforce were having options like better quality workplace, better pay, etc. Hence, they jump from one job to another. And then the third recession, that revolution, that is now we are into social revolution. After 2008 recession, the information revolution is over. Whatever information is required is now available on tip of your finger for free. And a new revolution has come as a social revolution. During this digital or social revolution, the workforce don't care of their survival. Their grandparents took care of their that. They don't care of the standard of living. Their parents took care of that. Will find another job. If suppose even the labor has now current scenario, labor has dish TV at their house, and even if you ask, we will pay your cut or we'll bind you through contract, they will say, okay, we'll find another job. Today's workforce needs something else, and they want quality of life, not standard of life. They want a quality of workplace, quality of job, quality of environment, quality of role, opportunity, learning and reward, etc. For an example, you would have noticed if you find a local roadside garage where a mechanic works with dirty clothes, he must be drawing a handsome salary, maybe 20-25,000 per month. But if you look at today's workforce, they are more happy to work in car showroom like Hyundai, Maruti, and their service center on minimum wages. They are not getting much salary beyond 15,000, 16,000 k per month. Still they are happy because they are working for that social revolution. They are happy with the workplace provided, that is clean and neat. The boiler suit they are provided, the machineries they are handled, they are happy with that. So we need to understand what exactly the requirement of the workforce, and accordingly, if you look at after the this thing HRD concept, there was a previously we used to call it a personal department. The personal department, personal are those who are employed in the workforce. Personal management is an administrative function which exists in an organization to ensure right personnel at right time. It is a traditional approach of managing employees with focuses on adherence to policies and rules of organization. Personnel department is concerned with planning, job analysis, recruitment, and performance appraisal along with training and development, labor relations, and by handling the employees' grievances. Now we'll come to the definition of HRD. Human resources development is a organized learning experiences provided by employees to bring about possibility of performance growth or personal growth within the specified period of time. Human resource development is a process of developing and unleashing human expertise through personal training and organizational development for the purpose of improving performance. Evaluation of HRD, history and concept of HRD, development of HRM. Awareness regarding HRM was felt during the Industrial Revolution around 1850 in Western Europe and USA only during the beginning of 20th century it was felt in India. Since then, the present era, the development of HRM may be classified as follows: trade union, special social responsibility, scientific management. Taylor developed four principles of scientific management: human relations, behavioral sciences, system approach, contingency approach, development of HRM. After Second World War, difficult conditions erupted in India. Malpractices in the recruitment of workers and payment of wages led to trade union movement. In 1931, on the recommendations of Royal Commission of Labour, jobber system was abolished. After independence, the Factories Act 1948 laid down provisions for labor officers, labor welfare, safety and regulation of work conditions. Two professional bodies emerged. They are the Indian Institute of Personnel Management, IIPM, Calcutta, now Kolkata, and the National Institute of Labor Management, Bombay. These two institutes are guiding in human resource management and labor management. The massive trust on basic industries in India first 5 year, that is 1956 to 61, which accelerated public sector undertakings, gave thrust to personal management and HRD practices. The professionalism in managing organizations become quite disconcertable by 1970s. There was a clear shift from welfare approach to efficiency approach. The two professional bodies, IIPM and NILM, merged in 1980 to form National Institute or Personal Management with Calcutta as a headquarter. Evolving along the year, the approach has shifted to human values and productivity through people. It is against such a shift in managing people in 1980s, a new approach has emerged as human resource management. This approach focuses more on development aspect of human resource. In the field of management sciences, 1980 can be called as a decade of computer and HRD. 1990s are likely to continue to be a decade of new technologies in every field, including human resources. After that, many companies started renaming their training and development department as human resource development, and some have created separate departments. It was almost 36 years ago our country witnessed the emergencies of HRD culture with the help of Professor Uday Parikh and Professor T.V. Rao. They started it as a review exercise of the performance appraisal system for L&T in 1974 and 75. Then the future leads to establishment of HRD department in SBI and its associates and Bharat Earth Movers Limited in Bangalore in 1976-78. Further, in the first HRD workshop was held at IIM in 1979. In following year, beginning from 1980, a series of workshops were held to develop HRD facilitators. Then in 83, Dr. T.V. Rao moved to XLRI as a L&T professor to set up the Center for HRD. The first HRD newsletter was started in 1985 by the Center of HRD and sponsored by L&T. This was the first family tree of HRD in India. Now we'll move to the meaning of HRD. Human resource development can be defined as a set of systematic and planned activities designed by an organization to provide its members with opportunities to learn necessary skills to meet current and future requirement. Please try to understand current and future requirement. That is very elaborate and very meaningful. We need to prepare the workforce to be kept ready for the basis on the future requirement. That is was not having in that personal department, that has been included in HRD department, and that as of now that is a core function of the HRD department. Learning is the fundamental principle that drives organization towards higher concentration on human resource development. HRD activities should begin when an employee joins an organization. There is a misunderstanding that once the person has joined, HRD's role is over. No, till his retirement, the HRD role continues, and irrespective of the authority and responsibility that the person holds. HRD programs are focused on integrating long-term plans and strategies of the organization with the requirement of changes in the job to ensure the efficient and effective use of all the resources available to the organization. Therefore, human resource development in any organization aims at the following: to develop the competencies of the human resources, to create an environment of the commitment and motivation among employees of the organization, to develop a conducive organizational culture to achieve its mission for existence, to create policies, procedures, and systems to train people for better performance that is based on trust, commitment, loyalty, and growth. Now we'll look, I just wanted you to understand what are the benefits under HRD versus personal department. If you look at HRD, it's a committed human resource department, readiness to change, increase production, increase profitability, quality of work life, solution based on apprehensions. Please try to understand. Future problem needs to be understand what could be the future difficulties, and basis on that, so your solution must be ready. You must be faced. You should ready to face those type of challenges which can come anytime. That is a main function of the HRD department. Then win-win situation, employee as a profit partner approach. This is again very critical distinct feature, because uh, any workforce who is working with that company should not be treated as an employee. He should be treated as an equal partner for profit sharing. Whereas if you look at personal department, it is just for the increased production, disciplined employees, solution based on incident. Whatever happened, we'll find out solution on that. But in future, what will happen? What should be our workforce? What type of challenges we will able to face? Those issues were not recognized during the inception of personal department. Then employee is treated as an employee, not as an employer. And there was vast difference between employee and employee relation. Then the critical issues of HRD department, strategic management and HRD, supervisor's role in HRD, organizational structure of HRD, alignment with organization goal, vision, and mission. Here, I would like to stress that if suppose any company is having vision and mission for future, it's a responsibility of HRD department to align their workforce according to the vision and mission of the employer, so that he will ready to understand what type of challenges, what type of work role he will have in future. And that should be the accordingly, if the alignment is proper, then employer doesn't face any such type of employee issues. So every employee should be ready for the future perspective. He should be ready to after, let's say if suppose any employee joins on a specific designation, what is their designation and how long he is going to work on same designation, how many years he has to work. After that, what is the procedure, what is the method where he can be elevated, he can be promoted to next designation. And if suppose his career path is not very clear, I'm 100% sure he won't be staying there for many years. In a couple of years or maybe 5 years, he will move out of that employer, and he will seek good opportunity where he can be better benefited compared to this organization. Then strategic management and HRD. Strategic management aims to ensure organizational effectiveness for the foreseeable future, maximizing profit in the next 3 to 5 years. HRD aims to get managers and workforce ready for new product procedures and material. Supervisor's role in HRD implements HRD program and procedures. If suppose a supervisor should be any supervisor working in an organization should be he should know what is the organization goals and vision, and what is the role of responsibilities of any designation, any employee working below him. Accordingly, he has to ensure that his performance, he should able to rate his performance periodically. Then on the job training, coaching, mentoring and counseling, career and employee development, a frontline participants in HRD. On the job training, if suppose any employee faces any issues related, I'm not talking about the skill, it could be related to attitude, then that training needs to be identified, and that needs to be, there has to be a training program for every employee. Many employers keep about 2 to 3 days mandates for every employee in the organization. So every after the time at the time of appraisal, employee trainings are identified and a proper trainer has given. Accordingly, employees being trained under the training and the evaluation process going on. Next year, the training program during the training during the appraisal process, The employee is being assessed whether last year's training program, how that employee has performed. So once the employee has been trained on that aspect, there are chances that profitability may increase and he won't face any issue while he's working. Coaching, mentoring, and counseling. Coaching, here, they suppose we have a specific group of employees, and among those employees, we need to identify who are the performer, who are go-getters. Those need to be identified, and accordingly, those needs to be trained so that future uh, many more responsibilities can be given to those employees who performs well. Career and employee development. Every employees there should be a path during the, if suppose an employee joins at the age of 25, and while at the time of retirement, how his path should be defined, where are the scopes employee can reach to those scope, those responsibilities that needs to define, and accordingly that is a motivator factor for employee. He can foresee his employment, let's say after 5 years, after 10 years, where he can able to reach. Those directions, those guidelines can be provided by the HRD department, and that is one of the main aim of the HRD department. Organizational structures of HRD department depends on company size, industry, and maturity. No single structured use depends in large part on how well the HRD manager become an institutional part of the company. That is a revenue contributor, not as a revenue user. HRD's few more features: training and development, organizational development, and career development. Training and development, improving the knowledge, skills, and attitude of employee for the short term particular to a specific job or a task. Employees orientation, skills, technical training, coaching, and counseling. Then we'll move to the function of HRD. Recruitment and selection, that is what we call a staffing, human resource planning, human resource auditing, job analysis, orientation, training and development, performance appraisal, career planning, and career development. Then compensation, employee benefits, motivating employees, welfare and health and safety measures, labor relations, and record keeping. Now we'll move to each features. Recruitment and selection. How the recruitment and selection process done. Many, you might have seen that many employer, they put the advertisement through newspaper or job portals. Then what, accordingly the resumes, they collate the resumes, they compare the resumes, they call the and candidates for the interview. There are different type of rounds of interview with the departmental head, and then the regional head, and the HR department. Accordingly the candidates being selected, that before that we should have to have whatever vacancies we have, and how many vacancies are there. For that vacancy, you should have to have that job description. If suppose that employee or candidate is going to work, what role he is will be appointed, and what type of objectives he has been given, so that their salary should be basis on the job description and the objectives given. Why objectives are required during the year? If suppose you want to evaluate his performance, you have to have some criteria in hand. On that basis, objectives are decided. The objectives can be changed every year also, and there can be changes in between periodically. You may say that quarterly or 6 monthly, the objectives can be changed. On basis on objective, every time they appraise during the appraisal process, they have given the ranking basis on the objectives. If suppose any candidate is absolutely fine and getting good ratings, then the company decides the payment scale, increase payment scale. But if suppose the performance is poor, the HRD department recommends the training programs for that specific employee, so that that next year for the performance year he should be ready, and he should be he should not face those type of issues which were you earlier facing during the last year. Then job analysis. So every HR, every designation, there must be a job analysis, that has to be decided for every designation. Then orientation, what do you mean by orientation is when any employee joins an organization, he should be oriented to all department, not only where he works, but rest of the departments. Like if suppose any employee working for a administrative department, it should not happen that he is oriented with the administrative department, whereas he should be oriented with HR department, administrative department, purchase department, and then factory and so on. Whoever, whatever departments they have, that should be oriented to this employee. So you know that he will come to know what my organization is and where I'm working and what will be my actual role, whom I'm getting coordinated to. Those type of functions he should be oriented with. Then the training and development we have already covered. What is performance appraisal? Performance appraisal is a review process. Every year, company has given some target to the employees, or you may say department wise, then the employee wise. So employee before and only comes to know that this year, if I achieve this target, then I'm going to get good rating. If I'm not able to deliver those targets, then my performance will be rated poorly. So that is one kind of motivation, and employee has to see that this is a motivation factor. So without telling him, he come to know that okay, this is my target. I need to complete my target by this 31st December of so and so year. So accordingly, he has a challenges. He performs that way, and during the month of January to March, the company conducts appraisal process, and every appraisal process, that evaluation is based upon the objectives. So, you know, there is no discrimination. Otherwise, people may say there is a discrimination. Yes, this guy is very close to so and so person. That's the reason he has given good increment. So, if you do not have performance appraisal schemes at all, then you may face such type of issues. Then we'll move to the career planning and career development. Career planning and career development is basically for every designation, the company foresees his vision, his till retirement, where the candidate can reach if he performs well. That plan is ready for every designation. And then the compensation. Compensation is basically a salary part, we can say. There may be a fixed salary, variable salary basis on company's performance. Company designs attractive compensations plan so that you know candidate can be attracted. These plans are periodically many companies I have seen basis on you know recession period or sometime you know just to match up the competition. They during the year or maybe during the 6 months they change their compensation this thing, and accordingly salary gets increased. Then the employee benefits. There are many employees. What type of employee benefits are available? Every employee should know about it. And there is a you can reach the HR manual where in details they provide the employee benefits. Then welfare, healthy and safety. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
Uday, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, yes. Can. I
Okay.
can. I
Yeah.
think we are
Okay.
nearing the end of the meeting. If you can, we have to 3 4 minutes
I'll
now.
take
Yeah.
one more minute.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And the other functions we can talk about is welfare, healthy and safety measures. Basically, many companies are attracting now workforces for healthy welfare and safety measures. Now, and the addition, other function is labor relations. That is one of the critical relations, labor understanding labor, their problems, their settlement issues, their court issues, all type of provisions are made in HRD department. And the last but not the least, the record keeping. All type of employees record their performance details, their appraisals, their salary details, everything needs to be managed under HRD. And that has to be kept secretly. and confidentially. I think my time is over. I'll end up here. Any questions, Uday, please?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Advocate Rajesh. We have two. First question is, what is the difference between industrial relation and human relation?
Industrial relation is basically, mainly related about labor issues and the, sentiments of labor. Where HR relation, I guess your question. Can you repeat the question, please?
Difference between industrial relation and human relation.
Human relation.
Yeah.
Yeah, human relations basically, you need to motivate all the time all employees just to generate profitability, to make a good atmosphere. Whereas industrial relation, that is quite elaborative, but I can say that it's basically healthy relation needs to be maintained among various, considering all laws, applicable laws.
Okay. Okay. And very quickly, we just have 2 3 minutes more. So, two questions on same topic on this COVID situation. What is the role of HR? What decisions do HR take in this kind of situation? What is their role? Quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, HR role is very critical now
Yeah.
because many companies are now allowing people to work from home. They have liberty to work. The working hours are being reduced just to understand and cooperate the workers.
Okay. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions also. As of now, I can't see any questions. So thank you, Advocate Rajesh. That was a very helpful information. A lot of things that we learned with respect to HR today. Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I thank everybody on behalf of Law and Society Alliance and Legal Cell. Uh, Sir, yeah. We are having a session tomorrow on Introduction to Employees State Insurance Act and presented by Advocate Sanoj Koran. So I request everybody to join for tomorrow's meeting as well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thanks, Advocate Rajesh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
उद्याचा प्रोग्राम